This podcast was brought to you by the Tampa Bay Podcast Network.
Hello, my lovely drumsters. It's Dawn Marie Mutel. Welcome back to another episode of The Little Drummer Girl. Today's guest is Olivia Bradley. She is a vocalist, a performer, an Irish dancer based out of Atlanta, Georgia. She's performed with professionals like Sarah Brightman, John Doyle, and so many others. And she's a member of Celtic Angels and Shirley. Olivia is a national champion Irish Gaelic singer who has won gold medals in both in Irish and in English singing competitions. So we're going to cover a couple different things today because I'm so curious how she got into this because she's not from Ireland. So I can't wait to hear what her story is. We also have Molly Elizabeth Gibson, who is also in the Celtic Angels, that will join us after we speak with Olivia for a little bit. So without further ado, let's get her on the line with us. Hey, Olivia, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you being here and taking the time out to be here.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. I mean, I was like so excited to meet you that I have to share the story because, you know, you just don't know where you're going to meet people and how things are going to happen. It was Thanksgiving morning and I was sitting out at the beach early in the morning trying to do a little bit of editing. And I hear a couple of people walking by and then I hear a conversation going on and I hear someone saying, yeah, we're starting a tour starting tomorrow. And I was like, my ears perked up because I'm like, tour, what did they do? So we had that conversation and next thing I know, I found out you do a Celtic ensemble and I was just thrilled because that's one of my favorite things. I do love all things Irish and I am Irish, so I was thrilled to have you say yes. So how's the tour going?
It's going really well. We have, so we started the day after Thanksgiving. Our first performance was the day after I saw you. And we started in, where did we even start? I believe it was Vero Beach, Florida. Nice. I'm pretty sure. No, sorry. It was Davie, Florida was where we started. And then we have gone, just made our way up. We've been to, Maryland is the farthest north we've gone. And then we went to North Carolina, Virginia, Indiana, Ohio, all around there. And then we went up to Maryland and then came to Georgia. So, and then and then we're headed west after this. So we'll end in California next Wednesday.
Oh, so awesome.
I've never done a tour this long before, but the cast is amazing. Everyone's so sweet, so talented, the best people. A really great cast to be a part of. And the traveling it's a lot at times, but so much fun.
Are you traveling by bus or are you traveling by plane or?
Bus. Yes.
Wow. It's a real tour.
So I flew. The only time I'm flying was when I got here for rehearsals and when I go back home from California. So just bus all the way. Lots of driving.
What are there? 6 of you guys in the group?
Well, there's 5 angels, and then we have a troop of 5 boys. They're all Irish dancers, and then we have 5 musicians, I believe. So there's about, I think 5 or 6 musicians. So there's and then our crew members. There's about 3 or 4 crew members. So we have maybe around 20 total of all of us.
Sweet. So you have a few buses going out there. It's not just one bus with you gals on it. Okay.
Yeah. With U-Hauls and
Wow. I felt bad that I didn't get a chance to see the show when you were here in Clearwater, but I hope the next time you guys come around, I will definitely get a chance to. And I hope that we get some footage that we can put up on the vlog with this interview so that everybody can see the wonderful work that you guys do.
Yeah.
But my first question to you is that how did you get started with Irish singing? I mean, that is not something that, most people set out to do.
Right. So my family has, both my mom and my dad's side have Irish and Scots Irish. So we always, celebrated St. Patrick's Day. And when Riverdance was really big, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, we would watch it all the time. Me and my best friend, actually, her family's really Irish. So we would always get together for St. Patrick's Day and watch Riverdance. And I've always been singing my whole life. So, And then I did musical theater for a while. So that was like my first love. And so then I started competitively Irish dancing. There's a lot of schools around the Atlanta area. And Atlanta is where I'm from. So yeah, so me and my sister and my best friend, whose family's Irish, we all started Irish dancing. And then eventually I had a friend who was Irish dancing with me. And then she was a musician already. So she started doing Irish music competitions, which is totally separate from the dance world. So an Irish dance competition is called a feis, which, yeah. And then the Irish word for music festival is a fleadh. So I was hearing that and I was like, what is a fleadh? And so when the Pixar movie Brave came out, there's a Scottish Gaelic song in it that is gorgeous. So I learned that and just fell in love with the Gaelic language in general. And then I switched to Irish Gaelic and was just so, I had such a passion for it. And then I eventually found Atlanta Irish Music School, which is not it kind of like shut down for a bit. And now it's kind of starting back up with a different name. But I started Irish Gaelic lessons there with a teacher who is, I love her to death. She's amazing. And then I did an Irish Gaelic singing competition in Ireland, which was amazing. So while keeping up with the dance and doing musical theater and all that stuff. So that kind of, through connections, doing all the Irish music stuff, that led me to this. It's just the Irish music, with the Irish music, dance, all of it, like all the worlds are just, it's so small. Everybody knows everybody through somebody. Like it's
awesome.
It's the coolest thing. It is the coolest thing. Yeah.
So when you say you sing in Gaelic, that language is really tough. I mean, when I was in Ireland, I got on a bus to go to the Temple District or the Jewel District, whatever it's called, and the guy said something to me and I was like, I know he said something, it sounded like English, but I was like, what? Can you say that again? And he said it, and me and my cousin, she's from France, and we were like, I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I thought he was playing with us at first, but then, as we heard it more, spoken around, it was like, wow, this is a really tough language,
It is.
So how did you get to learn how to speak it, let alone sing it?
Well, the relationship between singing it and speaking it is very different. I have taken some, because you have to learn how to speak it really first.
Right.
Which is how pretty much all people learn how to speak it in Ireland. You just grow up learning it in school, so you know the language. But I just went into it learning it for the competition. So my teacher would kind of go over it with me phonetically. I started the easy route a little bit, learning it phonetically. And then I started I've taken several actual Irish language classes, learning about the language and more how to speak it, which helps, with the singing very much so. And there's so many different dialects too. There's like 4 main dialects of the Irish language, and 4 different regions in Ireland, I should say, that all speak it kind of differently, which makes it harder because you hear one person say one word from a different area of Ireland and you're like, that sounds different from this other Irish person say that same word. So that complicates it too. But like the language it's gorgeous and very few people speak it, even in Ireland. It's kind of declining, unfortunately, but I mean, so many people, the people who do speak it, it's amazing. And I want to keep, even through singing it, it's just such a wonderful celebration of Irish music and culture. Like it's amazing.
I love the fact that you're keeping a tradition that you say is starting to fade out, because, with the kids, they don't want to do this. They want to be Americanized and all that. And then that goes everywhere. It's like, even when I go to visit my family in France, I see that happening with the McDonald's and, they'd rather have something, instead of some really great French food. But when you got into the group, did you have management already, or did you have to go out and find some?
You mean after I got into the group or before?
Yeah, after you got into the group.
No, look, because I actually, the way I found out about the group was through a friend. It was actually, I knew a guy that was taking fiddle lessons at the same Irish music school I was taking Irish Gaelic singing lessons. And his aunt, it's going to be a lot. His aunt knew a famous Irish comedian who knew the owner of CMI Entertainment, which is the entertainment company that puts on Celtic Angels and a bunch of other shows. So that was kind of it. So that friend knew a guy who knew this guy. And that comedian guy knew that Vince is his name, was looking for people to be in Celtic Angels. So the comedian guy was asking my friend, like, hey, do you know anybody? And she was like, yes, and sent me the email.
Wow, I love that.
So
you just don't know who is going to help you get that next big shot out there. That's awesome. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever had any kind of embarrassing moments on stage? Because I know I have when I was in theater. And if so, how did you pull out of it?
Something that our main angel, she's also our director, and she is wonderful. She's from Dublin in Ireland. Her name is Louise Barry. She's wonderful. She said this, I think, on our last tour, and she said it again this time around, but like, what makes you true professional is not that you make mistakes, but how you recover from those mistakes. On this tour, we have like cloaks in the beginning, and then we have crowns underneath them. So, and then we take off the cloak, and then my crown has completely fallen off on stage. And then we have had several zippers and straps break like right before we go on stage. Thankfully, not on the stage. We have had some zippers unzip on stage.
Do you all like hide each other, like get behind each other and start doing something different?
Or not. We just roll with it. We're like, hey, audience, here's my back. It's, whatever. So but the biggest thing I always try to do, especially because a lot of our scenes are very like interactive and we're having a great time, so usually if I like make a little mistake, or if I like drop something or something falls off, I'm usually just like, oh, that was weird. Let me pick that up. Oh, ha, ha, ha. You just kind of laugh about it, work it into your character, and always just smile. You never make a face that's like, I always am just like, nothing happened, audience.
Everything's just lovely. That's great.
Part of the beauty of it too, is that like stuff is going to mess up. Stuff is going to happen. That's just the nature of it. But that's part of the craziness and, the beauty of it too.
Keeps it just fresh that way.
It does. It keeps it exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
You just don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. For sure. Do you use social media a lot to promote your shows? Do you rely on it heavily?
So I have my own social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. And then for Celtic Angels itself, we do have our own Facebook and Instagram as well. We actually just started the Instagram for this tour specifically, because this is the first like big tour we've done since COVID happened and so many things had to change. But yeah, we are very big on social media, both myself personally and with the show. So if you with those
yes, I definitely want
handles.
You know what? Let's ask for the handles now while we can, because I know we have someone else coming to join us and I don't want to forget that. How can people stay in touch with you?
Yeah. So we are on Facebook. We are CMI Presents Celtic Angels. And then Instagram, we are at Celtic Angels Show.
I will make sure.
And then and I'm Olivia Bradley Music on Facebook.
Cool. Do you play any instruments?
I do. I played some piano and guitar when I was younger. I really need to pick it back up more. But I played bowron. It's the Irish drum.
Oh, I love that drum. That is so
cool.
It's
so fun. And I dabbled a little bit in some concertina. It's like a little mini accordion.
Oh,
but
fun.
That was it was very I've heard some people say it's like playing a Rubik's Cube. So yeah. But the bowron is like my main instrument that I play.
That is very cool. I regret when I was out there that I didn't pick up any instruments, or, I didn't get to go to any music shops out that way. I will definitely have to do that the next trip I get out. Then how do you decompress, and how do you like regenerate your body to keep going for the next show and the show after that?
It has been a journey. I will say that, because I've never done a tour this long before. I will say cough drops. Hall's cough drops. This is not a ad, but Hall's cough drops are wonderful. And the blue ones that are like really minty or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, they're wonderful. And just keeping yourself healthy, hot tea. I take a ton of immune stuff, zinc, vitamin C, all those things. And making sure you get plenty of sleep, especially on tour, you really have to take care of yourself. So I have always stressed about getting a sore throat, like my whole life.
That's got to be difficult as a singer. That's your instrument. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I try my best to stay healthy as much as possible and to de-stress and just like, not to go crazy after a show or like stress myself out and like, oh, why did I mess this up? Being hard on yourself is a really bad thing for your mental health. Like it's going to stress you out so much. So also just positive thinking too is a huge thing. And yeah, I would say that's pretty much it. Just staying healthy and just like staying positive really are the two biggest things.
I love that because, mental health is really so important to everything. Because, if you're in a bad mood or like you say, you didn't sleep right, it's going to show up in the performance. And I know that when I do something, I'm always like keyed up for a few hours before I can go to bed at night. And so do you have that problem too? Like after you just came off the stage, it's like, oh yeah, now I need like 3 to 4 hours to kind of decompress before you can like go to sleep.
Well, also on this tour, because we're going so much, usually if I have like a show where we only do a couple performances, I experience that. But this time around, I'm like, I'm tired. So it doesn't really take a lot. Like most of our vocal numbers, we're kind of like running around the stage. So it's always good to, doing the show more and more builds up your stamina. So that helps.
That's true. Good point. Very good point. Right. Because then it seems easier every time you do it.
Right. But also just making sure that you're just not pushing yourself too hard because you have to do it.
So what do you do sound checks before each event that you do that night?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So at that point, do you just keep it very minimal or, do you find that you're just not like doing the full? Okay, that's cool.
Honestly, notice that I'm pretty vocally rested like most of the time, unless we have a late night. But like other than that, I mean, I've had time to just decompress on the bus and not talk a lot. So
the ladies get, back to the bus, you're going to want to be like, no. Do you want to talk about things that happened or you may want to?
Yeah, we're around each other constantly. We have all day to talk to each other. So we don't really have moments where we're just like, we all kind of feel tired at the same time. So that's good.
Yes, you all go to sleep. Mm-hmm. Do you ever find that?
Yeah, no, we're kind of just like, all right.
Working with women, and especially a group of women, do you find that there's any kind of disagreements, or do you guys get into any like, oh, I want it this way, or I want it this way, any animosity, some creative direction that you guys ever have?
Well, because Luis is the main one that's kind of in charge of all of that. And we had to learn the show so quickly. So in terms of that, no. But I mean, this group, we have had, because we're around each other constantly. We've definitely had moments where we could have been
at each other's,
yeah. But it's such a great group of women. It really is. We definitely have moments where we're like stressed or like in the show, and it's just like, we get a little riled up sometimes. But like, it's such a great group of girls. Like there's been like nothing like that.
That's great.
Which is amazing.
It is, because you hear a lot of times, that's not the case. And there's always some kind of differential between them. I understand you have a friend with you who would like to stop in and say hi. Is she available?
Yes.
Go get her, bring her out, tell her to come out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have Molly Elizabeth Gibson in the house who's just joined us. Hi, Molly. Thanks for joining us.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So how is the tour going for you?
Oh, it was really such a joy to get to be with everybody. They're just a great group and a dream come true just to be performing with a big family. It's so fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
So Molly, how did you get into this whole world of Gaelic singing and dancing?
You know, it started with me back in childhood because it really started for me when I was like 8 years old, and the group Celtic Woman entered our home. And like listening to that music really shaped like who I wanted to be as an artist and pursuing Irish music. So I started getting connected to the Irish world, and like I'm making friends in that community, and they're such a warm and welcoming community. And then so I just started making friends there and pursuing Irish music down that road, and it's been a fun journey. So
that is awesome. Did you study, like I know Olivia did a lot of study with Gaelic singing, and did you go through the same kind of rigmarole to get where you are
today?
Similar.
Similar. My oldest brother really brought in the love of Irish music into our family, and he studied the Irish language, and which kind of led me down that path as well. So it was like my high school language. I studied Gaelic, and
wait,
so
I have to stop you there. Your high school had Gaelic language in it?
Well, I was homeschooled, so I was able to.
Oh, wow.
I was able to, choose which language, we wanted. I know it's a little bit unique, but
that's so cool. That's very, very cool.
Yes.
Wow. So you learned at a young age to really hone your craft.
I think it kind of just, like I said, with Celtic Woman, and they had some Gaelic pieces in their music, and so that kind of shaped my childhood self, I suppose. So, yeah.
Were you guys friends before you worked together?
No, but it's so funny because Olivia and I have actually mutual connections, which is really fun.
And what part of the state do you live in?
Me or Olivia?
No, you, Molly.
I actually just moved up. I just moved from Savannah, Georgia, up to the Peachtree City area in South Atlanta.
Nice. Wow.
So we had like the same voice teacher before we knew each other and stuff like that. So it's really fun.
So like the full circle moment here.
Full circle.
That's great.
Yes.
Gotta love those. That is awesome.
I know. It is really cool.
Well, ladies, we're running out of time. I just want to say I wish you the best on your tour, and I really hope I get a chance to see it live when the next time you guys are back in this area, or if I'm in Georgia, that I get to meet up with you ladies, and maybe we can Guinness song something like that.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Thank you for your time, and I hope you guys have an awesome show tonight. I'd love to say break a leg because of the theater background, but you a very, very Merry Christmas, and
Thank you so much. You too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I really hope to meet up with you guys again soon.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, Dawn.
Oh, you're Merry Christmas. If you like this episode, please share the love and send it to a couple of your friends. And remember to join us over at the Facebook group at www.facebook.com/groups/Little Drummer Girl. That's LIL Drummer Girl. And if you like the show and you want to help support us, we really appreciate it. You can just join us over at patreon.com/podcast network. And if you really want to help support us, it can, there's memberships as low as $5 a month that we will be giving you some very unique recordings and different things that we won't be sharing on the podcast or on the vlog. So if you like to support us, that's the best way to do it. So thanks again for being here. And remember, it's never too late to live the life of your dreams and leave a trailblazing behind you. So rock on and rock out, and I'll catch you on the flip side.